Hey everybody, I'm Kirsten Holt, Director of New Jersey Audubon's Lorimer Sanctuary. We've gotten a lot of questions about our deer fence that encloses 11 acres of property here at Lorimer. And this is actually a deer exclosure. It keeps the deer out of those 11 acres. Our deer population in New Jersey has gone way up. And that's because we got rid of all of their natural predators like wolves, and we've increased the amount of edge property that deer love so much just by our natural human development. Every neighborhood you live in is perfect for a deer to thrive. So because of that, we have so many deer that our native habitats are really declining in diversity. This experiment here is showing that within just 11 acres, we can have a rebound of some of our plant species, which in turn helps out all of the insects and animals that also live here. So while I'm showing you some of these spring ephemerals that are along the forest floor of Lorimer, you wouldn't see these years ago because the deer would have eaten them, they would have trampled them, and they changed so much of our natural forests. So let's go inside, and remember, whenever you enter a deer exclosure, you need to close the gates behind you. Let's go. And latched.
One of the first things I noticed on this spring walk was pollination by bumblebees of these Dutchman breeches flowers. Bumblebees, especially queen bumblebees, have strength, and their tongue is long enough to pollinate these flowers. Although the Dutchman's breeches flowers can be pollinated by others who want the nectar and just nibble right through the petals to get it.
And what you're seeing is exactly what I was talking about, folks. So you're seeing tons of Dutchman's breeches popping up over here right off the trail. If you go to the other side of the trail, you have mayapple. And this mayapple isn't quite in bloom yet, but it's pretty distinctive. And in a couple of weeks, you'll see those big white flowers on it. And even as we head down the trail, you're going to see this really beautiful flower that you see a lot of times in North Jersey, in New York State, in Vermont, and it's Trillium. So this flower right here, or these leaves right here, those are Trillium. Not quite in bloom yet, so stay tuned, but you see they do have a bud on them. So that'll be soon. In the first video, I got really excited about these speckled leaves that resembled our native brook trout, actually our state fish as well. And that flower was called Trout Lily, and now we're a little deeper into the spring season and they are flowering. So this Trout Lily has 6 yellow petals, and they kind of bend backwards to reveal their stamen. The Trout Lily also has a really cool relationship with ants. So ants take their seeds, they get all these really cool, important nutrients from their seeds, and for the Trout Lily, it then disperses their seeds so that they can blanket an entire area. And a lot of times when you see these Trout Lilies, if you look close by, you'll see leaves in places all over. So you can see leaves all over here, not yet blooming, but they are in bloom elsewhere on the property. So you didn't have to stay tuned for very long. As I was walking up the trail, elevation changed just slightly, and as I was looking at this other native vegetation, I noticed that there was a Trillium right in the middle of them, fully in bloom. And this Trillium has 3 bright red petals, kind of maroonish, and in between those, it has these 3 other leaves. They actually aren't leaves, they're called Brax. They're specialized leaves, part of the Trillium flower, and it's part of that pattern that makes the Trillium so highly recognizable.
I'm always taken aback at the brilliant white of the petals of this flower. The name of this plant, bloodroot, comes from the fact that if its root is broken, it secretes a red juice or ooze that looks a lot like blood. Its Latin name, Sanguinaria canadensis, has origin in the word sanguine, meaning blood, just like the word for those animals that feed on blood, which are things like mosquitoes, vampire bats, ticks, oxpeckers, and they're called sanguivorous animals. I took this clip and this photo of bloodroot last week, and when I revisited the spot today, it was no longer in bloom. This truly speaks to the ephemeral nature of these spring wildflowers. Enjoy.